I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages.
Guys listening at home, out of all these things, do you care about any of them? What do you bring to the table that guys actually do care about? I'll wait. Best exercises before date evening. Gross. Ew. They're doing this, and then they'll turn around 5 posts later and be like, I went on a date and he didn't respect me.
Being a girl is actually incredible because you can act absolutely insane and then just be like, whoopsie.
Women are now in a culture that favors women. Yeah, I said it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jedediah Bila Show. How are you today? I'm feeling a little feisty. I'm also feeling a little hungry/hangry. You never know what's going to happen. Well, I have a fantastic show planned for you today. Spicy clips, as always. Almost as spicy as me. I said almost. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's going to be an awesome day. First, I have to tell you who the show is brought to you by, and then we're going to dive right in because why not? So a few months ago, my credit card was stolen. Luckily, I was protected because I am partnered with Aura. However, a friend of mine was not. It was a disaster for her and her family, financial disarray. You all know when your finances are out of order, the stress goes through the roof. Identity theft is happening every 14 seconds in America. That is a lot. It can also ricochet your whole life into pure and utter chaos. On this show, I want to protect you from identity theft. I want to protect your privacy. I want to protect your financial security. I am so excited to be partnering with Aura, one of my favorite companies to partner with. I told you that I would never try to sell you something that I'm not using. I use Aura to protect myself, my family, my parents, my friends. I pass this along to everyone that I know and love, including all of you. Aura protects the financial security of my family. As I said, it's identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, a password management, and antivirus software, and it's all in one. Also, super user-friendly. Y'all know I'm not tech savvy. You know, we joke about it on the show. If I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. My parents can even do it, and they're really not tech savvy. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, your passwords, your social security numbers, and sends alerts right to your phone and your email if something looks a little off, looks a little shady. If someone opens a credit card in your name, as an example, Aura will send you a message. So you know what's going on. You're not blindsided suddenly down the road and all of a sudden everything is a disaster and you have to backtrack. Nope, Aura catches that stuff before it happens. The VPN also lets you stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal info safe and encrypted. Y'all know I talk about the death of privacy. This is a way to keep your privacy. So check this out. Aura did a little check on me and found my passwords on the dark web over 40 times. 40 times! That's my passwords. Bank accounts, secret stuff, stuff that you don't want to share with other people. Financial stuff that you want protected wasn't so protected. Thank heaven I had them. If you're curious, and I know you are, and you should be, by the way, how many times your passwords are on the dark web, I have an incredible offer for you today. You're going to go to aura.com/Jedediah. It's also going to be linked below in the show description. And if you sign up right now with my link, Aura is going to give you a 2-week free trial. There is nothing to lose here. You get 2 weeks for free. And you get to see in those 2 weeks how many times your passwords show up on the dark web. What I want you to do is I want you to use this trial because you got to know this is your money. Okay. You don't have your money. There's going to be problems and you know it. So go check it out. Use the 2-week free trial. And I want you to, in the comments, I want you to come back and tell me how many times your passwords were found on the dark web. Was it 20? Was it 10? Was it 60? I've seen some pretty crazy numbers come back. Kind of insane. So the system may be out to get you, but I'm here to protect you. Aura.com/Jedediah. Go get your 2-week free trial, and I want to hear from you. All right. Let's dig in. As they say, you're like, Jed, I wish I had some nachos. Maybe you should get a snack for the show. Just saying.
Maybe your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I've created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform. Not to mention, I started diversifying my financial portfolio at 23. You wear skinny jeans. We're not grading this on a curve.
Okay. She says she's not grading on a curve. Ooh, somebody's a little nasty. Does their personality seem approachable to you? I'm just asking, just a question. So you'll notice she's talking about how somebody probably told her standards are too high, right? Somebody probably said, listen, you're being too picky. Maybe she is. And then she goes and lists all of these things that she feels make her, I'm entitled to have high standards. I am the most desirable woman ever. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books. I speak 3 languages. I, solidified my financial portfolio. I created all these, I don't remember what she's talking about, apps or I don't know what she's talking about. So, guys listening at home, out of all these things, do you care about any of them? Do you care? I'm just asking. First of all, do you care if your woman can squat 250? My guess is no. My guess is that's not a priority. When you list the things that you want in a woman, do you have can squat 250 on there? I'm willing to go out on a limb here and say the answer is no. Do you care if she has her financial portfolio settled by the time she's, say, 28? Is that a priority for you? My guess is no. Do you care that she speaks 3 languages? Nice. Oh, how cool. Wow. That's, is that a priority for you? No, it's not. So this is a perfect example of women not understanding that what they like in themselves and what they value in themselves is not the same as what's going to attract a man, right? It's just not. They don't care about this stuff. They don't care about, and of course, there's going to be one guy out there that maybe he's a little bit different, but generally speaking, guys don't care about how much money you make, honey. They don't care because they're going to do that, right? They're already viewing it as their job. They don't care about your salary. They don't. They don't care about how much you can squat in the gym. Do they care that you're fit and that you keep yourself in shape and that you look good and that you're attractive and that you're not, Yes, they do. But do they need you to squat 250 like that? No. They only need one man in the house, honey. Just saying. They don't care. Do they care that that you built all these apps or whatever you did work-wise? Okay, let me just say it this way. Guys don't give a lick about your work life and how successful you've been at your work. Now, there's a woman out there that's saying, that Jed, you're wrong. Because I asked my husband and he told me that he does care. Really? Did you ask him under duress, honey? Did you say, babe, like how much I love my job? And I mean, do you care that I'm doing really well in my career? Is that important to you? And then did he be like, sure, honey, yeah. I mean, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of that stuff. Yeah, because you scared the hell out of him? Honey, be realistic. How did you ask? Did you put pressure on that situation? If he said he didn't care, did you have a tantrum and cry and go in the other room and be like, you don't value me as a woman? You don't value what I can bring to the table? You don't treat me like an equal? I'm just a what? Am I just a maid? Did you have a little fit, an emotional, tirade? Guys don't care about your job. They don't. They don't care about your job. They don't care if you can squat like them. They don't care how many apps you built. They don't care about any of this stuff she's saying. So when she's out and she's dating and she's like, oh, look at my resume. Because I have all of these things, I'm entitled to be immensely picky. A guy's turning around and being like, are you nice to be around? Do you want to be a mom? How do you feel about making a house a home? Are you generally a pleasant person, or are you super stressed out and feeling anxious with cortisol spikes all day long and coming home agitated because you squat 250 and because you went and created 3 apps and because you did all this stuff that the guy doesn't give a lick about? He'd rather have you not doing all that stuff and be pleasant and not stressful and be like, babe, you know what? Oh my God, I baked this sourdough and it's amazing. And he's like, oh man, coming home to a steak and a sourdough with some raw butter. But I'm being honest with you. Now, I could sit here and lie and say all of these things. Now, do I as a woman think these things are cool? I do. I think it's awesome that she can squat 250. I can't. I think it's awesome that she speaks 3 languages and she did all this stuff. I'm a female looking at a female saying, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's cool. But I'm not going to date you, honey. And if you're looking to attract to men, you just created a long list of stuff that they don't care about. So now what I would ask her to do is, pretty girl, no question, disciplined. Okay, what do you bring to the table that guys actually do care about? What is that stuff? I'll wait. And then secondly, is there enough stuff there that would entitle you to keep your standards for him high? When in reality, maybe all the stuff that he cares about, you're not doing and you don't care about and you don't want to do. That creates an imbalance. So then you've got all this stuff you're doing that you like, but he doesn't care about. You think that makes you, I should be looking at 10s. But the 10s want the feminine stuff, and this stuff doesn't read so feminine. It just doesn't. She kind of sounds like it's a boss babe, but she sounds very masculine, right? I've owned my life, this, that, you're in skinny jeans, I'm not grading on a curve. I mean, she sounds like the teacher you walk into the class and you're like, dear God, why did I can I switch? Is there someone else that can teach this class? Is that you're borderline afraid of her. Her energy is so masculine and so like, I'm self-empowered. Get out of my way. I did it all. I don't need you. I don't need a man. I can do everything that a man can do and more. Well, then you're not going to attract a man. He's going to look right by you and all of these so-called accomplishments that you value, but he doesn't really care about. And he's going to look to a woman who's just sitting around and happy and like, I do need a man. I want a man because I bring something to the table that he doesn't, and he brings something to the table that I don't. You're not competing with a man. Was this a video about you competing with a man or you trying to attract a man? I'm lost. Are you lost, audience? You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's go to number 2. And I want you to look at it. It's gross, but it's important to watch. Okay, what it says on the screen, just so you know, is best exercises before date evening. Okay, so you see what's going on here, right? Nasty stuff, gross, ew. Positions and all sorts of nasty stuff that you could do on a date sexually. Why did I show you this? Well, here's why. Here's why I showed it to you. First of all, nasty. And secondly, women are doing this stuff online now. This overt, gross, nasty, hypersexualized, like gross stuff. And I can't say it enough. Nasty, nasty. How many times do I need to say nasty when these women are doing this stuff? They're doing this, and then they'll turn around 5 posts later or 6 posts later or 20 posts later and be like, I went on a date and he didn't respect me. I'm not getting any respect from men. I don't know why. These men are just so, they don't respect who I am. They treat me like a one-night stand. And I'm not saying her in particular. I'm using this as an example because you can look all over the internet and see this kind of crap. I went out with him and he treated me like I was just there for a night. He didn't call me. He didn't text me. I feel so used. What are you putting out there? What are you putting out there? It used to be that it was controversial when a girl would put an Instagram selfie up and it was, ostentatious. There was like a little, the swimsuit, maybe a little of the butt cheek was exposed. Now it's just, let me just act out sexual acts at the gym. Also, is this not the same girl that would go to the gym and then complain if people were looking at her? Oh my God, he's so gross. You can't do anything around men. Yes, honey, you can't simulate sex actively among men and not have them be like, even I'm like, you can't do that. You can't act like trash and expect to be treated like a lady. You can't put out trashy content and expect to be taken out by a gentleman and be treated like a gentleman would treat a lady. It doesn't work like that. And this is why I tell women, what are you doing? What are you putting out there? You cannot control a man's behavior. You can control your behavior. And your behavior, good or bad, is what attracts male behavior, good or bad. So instead of crying about it, instead of complaining, instead of being like, oh, I'm not respected, why don't you take a good hard look in the mirror, because that's what you have control over. And look at the message you're putting out there. Would you really expect a guy to watch that content and be like, oh, I can't wait for her to meet my mom, my younger sister, my nieces, my nephew? No, you'd be horrified that your mother might do a search and see that. Nasty, disgusting stuff. Like, honey, save it for the bedroom with your one guy that you're giving it up to, not just spread all over the internet, nasty stuff, gross. And, people say, oh, Jed, you're being so harsh. You're putting that crap out there and I'm the one being harsh? No, this is me shaking you. Hello, honey. When you wake up in 5 years and you're crying because you're alone and you got some guy who's treating you with disrespect, you know what I'm going to say? What did you put out there to invite that guy and not that good guy over there who wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole?
Being a girl is actually incredible because you can act absolutely insane and then just be like, whoopsie, it must have been the moon. Mercury must be in lemonade again. Those pesky planets, what they like, eh? No accountability here.
It's Mercury. Isn't it Mercury in retrograde? I think she said lemonade. I think that's a drink, honey. I don't know. Listen, perhaps I heard it wrong. Ben's in the background somewhere laughing like, no, you didn't hear it wrong. We all heard it together. Okay, so the no accountability woman. We talk about this all the time. Why? Why do women feel like this? Well, I'll tell you why, because society tells them that they can. Society, all the magazines, the internet, everyone's always like ripping on men if they do something wrong, right? Guy does something wrong and they're not getting away with it, right? You're toxic. Oh, this is toxic masculinity. You don't respect her as a woman. You're looking down. You're a chauvinist, misogynist. right? Everything they do. Now, am I saying that it's never warranted? No, I'm sure there's cases where it is warranted. Where is guys behaving badly, you call them out, right? But why is there not the same standard for women? Why is it that when women go on the internet and they man-hate, why isn't everyone like, that's man-hating, that's disgusting? No, they're like, ha ha, oh, that's so funny. Guys are so stupid. What a bunch of dummies. Thank God women exist. Our houses would just fall apart. Guys are just this dumber. Oh, look how dumb he is. Ha ha. Or they laugh. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny to make fun of men and just make them look like a bunch of dummy. Oh, look at you. You can't do anything without me. I'm the boss of the house. You know, it's become, you know, humorous. When women behave badly, it's funny. Oh, look what she got away with. Oh, my God. The age of the empowered woman, right? Girls' night out, nasty stuff that goes on. Well, she has to have her girl time. Really? Did that involve, grinding up on another guy? Maybe. Did that involve you getting all dressed up and trying to look good for another guy when your boyfriend's sitting at home playing some stupid video game? You know what's going on out there. There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of bad stuff. So here's what I'm saying. Women know. They know now that there is no accountability for them. And they know that they can toss their hair. Pretty girls forget it. It's like the worst. So many badly behaved, good-looking girls. It's sad because they feel like they can toss their hair and they can, cross their legs and they can put on a little dress and all is forgiven. And why do they feel that way, guys? Why? Because you do it. Because you do it. Because you're like, oh, she's such a pain. Oh my God, she treats me like such. Oh wow, is that sequins? Oh, never mind. You can't stop looking at the shiny object because women are now in a culture that favors women. Yeah, I said it. It favors women. They get a pass on all this stuff. Oh, this, that, and the other thing, all the man hating everything. The culture doesn't favor you guys. You're now labeled toxic and everybody laughs about it. There's a rallying behind the empowered woman and there is a scolding behind the empowered man. That is the world we live in. I'm being honest with you. And the reason that women get online and say there's no accountability is because they know it. So guys, why don't you force some accountability? Why don't you have some backbone in your relationship? And women, why don't you take a look at yourself? Why would you want no accountability? It doesn't feel good ultimately as you age to not take responsibility for your actions. And there's going to be a day when you get to, I don't know what the age is for you. Maybe it's 35, maybe it's 40, maybe it's 45, where you have to face some demons and you say a lot of this stuff that happened to me in dating was because of me. I wasn't very nice. I was a no accountability woman. So why don't you just do it now and stop behaving like this? Again, all of these women, pretty girls, attractive, could be attracting great guys if they behave differently. And I'm not doing this to rip. I'm doing this because ripping and tough love sometimes opens, hello, earth to you, honey. Wake up. Oh, this one.
I think in 10 years, people are going to look at marriage like we kind of look at smoking. Like, people are going to look at it and be like, doesn't that make you sicker? I mean, just think about it. Like, we know that marriage isn't benefiting women. So women tend to be sicker later on in their lives from the emotional, mental load that we take on in addition to being breadwinners. I have never regretted for 1 second getting divorced. I was eating lunch with this woman a few weeks ago. She's in her 50s. And she was like, well, you don't want to be like 51 and still doing this. And I was like, still doing what? What exactly should I not be doing at 51? And what exactly am I supposed to be doing at 51? Girl, I'm just living life. I am living. I do whatever I want, when I want, with whoever I want. And I have fuck you money, so I can do that too. I don't have a path. There's no path. I got off the path that everyone else, and actually I wouldn't even call it a path. It was a conveyor belt. I'm in nature, babe. I'm on the side of the mountain in rich terrain. I also just saw an article where it was talking about how there's a transfer of wealth happening where women are going to own 50% of the wealth. They already do. I should look it up. The change is here. There is nothing I want to be doing that I'm not already doing. I am living my best life. When I'm 51, I'll be living it then too. And it has nothing to do with my relationship status. I'm so grateful I deconstructed this for myself.
Okay. And that last line just is it, isn't it? She's so grateful she deconstructed this for herself. This is like her online therapy session. She just did an online therapy session with all of you to try to convince herself, who got divorced and is alone and is in her 50s and is probably doing some stuff that you 20-year-olds do. And now she's feeling a little funny about it. But she has to convince herself that she made the right decision and to convince all of you, right? So she did this video. She's like, oh, I'm so glad I deconstructed this. Yeah. Yeah. Go me. Yeah. Team me. I don't have to answer to anyone. And yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. The only person who doesn't believe it, though, is who? Her, right? You wouldn't be doing this video, honey. You wouldn't be doing this video telling everybody how happy you are and all this. If you actually felt happy, you'd just be living. You wouldn't be saying, I'm just living. You'd just be living, right? Okay, there's so much here. There's just so much here. She says she never regretted her divorce. Okay, maybe, I don't know what that situation is. But again, you wouldn't be doing all this, right? If you had made a decision that you felt really comfortable with and you were just looking at your peers, right? And you were feeling like, no, you know what? This is the right path, not just for me, but for everyone, right? There's a transfer of wealth happening. This is the I don't need a man. Well, women are going to be all making all the money. So what do you need a man for? Till the toilet breaks at, 3 a.m. and she's, what do I do? What do I do? It's leaking. The whole house. Or the roof. I can just call a plumber, Jed. I don't need a man. Really? Oh, okay. Try Sunday at noon. You good luck, honey. Good luck. You'd be covered in all sorts of stuff from the bathroom, wishing that there was a guy there to fix your problem. I'm just telling you, right? I'm just telling you. The water filter under the sink needs to be installed. You're not doing it. You got to call somebody. The washer dryer needs to be put on a pedestal. My husband the other day lifted. I come home and he's lifting the washer dryer. Washer and then dry. You know how heavy a washer dryer is? He just lifted it up onto the pedestal. And I was just like, wow. I looked at it and I thought he had already set up the water filter under the sink, which was, I don't know, more tubes than I ever need to see in life. And I was just like, wow. He set up the whole studio. I'm like, what would I be doing, man? I would have to outsource these things, right? And don't tell me, well, yeah, but there's women who do this stuff. They put on their tool belt. Okay, honey, right? 1 in a million. Don't talk to me about that one female construction worker that you saw in the last 50 years. Just don't use examples like that. Okay, back to the clip. Wow, I write so sloppy. I have all this to say. And then I'm like, what the hell did I just write down? Okay, so at 51 or at 50, however old she is, do you really want to be having like a rotation of men? Doing whatever you want, however you want. That's what that means. What she's trying to say is like, I can just have a guy when I want him. And then I don't. And then I can have another guy. I mean, then is that really, be honest, do you think that's a satisfying way to live in that stage of life? Really, honestly, it's not a satisfying way to live at 25. That's why they're all drinking and taking antidepressants and all of that stuff and on birth control pills. They don't know what to do with themselves to create fake happiness. So don't tell me that that is a contented state of mind at 51. When you're looking at your peers and they're married, and yeah, there's ups and downs in marriage. Of course, duh. You ride that wave. You got somebody there through thick and thin, sickness and in health. You've got, affection and support and love. And there's kids and there's grandkids and there's family gatherings. And you're what? Doing like some rotation of guys at 51? I mean, listen, honey, be realistic about the contentedness or lack thereof that resides in a life that, has male rotations as a 51-year-old woman or however old you actually are. I love that. I am living. Don't you love it when somebody's like, I am so happy. And they're like, inside, they're like, I don't have to tell you twice. Then she says, women are so unhappy. Marriage is just bad for women. How so, really? Let's talk about it. And then she says a little key line, because we have to do all the stuff in addition to being the breadwinners. Who decided that? You decided that. Because you decided that you wanted to be the woman in the relationship and the man, right? You did. You decided, I want to be empowered. I want to be the workhorse. I want to be the breadwinner. I want all the power. And I also, because I am the woman, am viewed as responsible for making the house a home and, tidying up and being the mom. How did I get all those labels? Because naturally, that's what women do. So you're now doing it all because you made that decision. You're doing the female roles that are natural to you. You all know it. Women see something that's messy, they got to fix it. And I'll get into that. I'm going to do a short thing about that at the end. Let me bite a little note. Women and messy apartments. You see something messy, you got to clean it up, right? There's things that women care about that guys don't notice, right? I could have like right now I'm in my studio and there's a sack of wires on the floor that I'm going to have to tidy up because I need it to look a certain way. My husband's like, well, who cares? I do, right? And the vacuum cleaner gets a workout with me and I love that. And there's things that women just naturally, by and large, do. They just gravitate toward in the home, right? Organizing, all of that stuff. So when you're doing that stuff that's natural to you as a woman, and then you decide you want to take on all of I want to be the breadwinner and I want to do this and I want to do that. So now you're the woman and the man and you're stressed out. And you know what happens? You take that stress of having to be the breadwinner and having to work all day and having to go into the office setting and having to do all that. You take that and you bring it home and you unload it in resentment, right? You say, well, now I'm resentful because I'm doing everything and he's just working. You've created that dynamic in your house. And this is another topic I talk about all the time is that women create this self-empowerment, work like a man, same amount of hours and be the breadwinner like a man and all that. And a lot of them are just downright miserable. Our hormones aren't designed like this. Testosterone is so smooth, right? We have ups and downs in our cycle. There's times of your cycle as a woman where you have a progesterone. Like, do you ever look at hormonal stuff? Ladies out there, and guys should know this too. Women's hormones, we all talk about, oh my God, our hormones, they're a little crazy. Yeah, it makes us a little crazy, and it's not the easiest to bear all the time, but it also, think about that crazy going on in our bodies, not always fun. But it makes it so that working out is different. You're not supposed to do like your hard workouts in the second half of the cycle. You're supposed to sleep more. Way more in the second half of your cycle. You're supposed to eat more. You're supposed to eat more carbs in the second half of your cycle because you kind of just, every woman knows the second half of the cycle, you don't think that that applies to your work as well, that it impacts you differently to go do these grinding jobs, crazy, 9 to 6 and all night. It impacts you differently. And then you get cranky and mad about it because you took that onus on yourself because you had to be the man of the house. And now you're mad about it. You're like, I have to be the woman. I have to be the man. No, you don't have to be. You decided to be. And now you're miserable. You brought all that negative energy into the house. And now you're divorced. What role did you play in it? Just ask yourself. And she says, I have FU money, all this. I have FU money. I don't need you. It's not just about, I love these people who talk about money. Is money important? Yes. Does money give you a sense of freedom? Yes. Is money going to make you happy? Not necessarily. No. And especially not if you're a female. I know, but these women hop on the yachts with the guys. Yeah, it doesn't always, that's like a moment in time because women like affection and love and tenderness and partnership. And by partnership, I mean that you've got somebody there for you at the end of the day. I know Rolo's somewhere like, oh, she used that word again. I thought you'd change, Jed. You know what I mean. Husband-wife union is what I mean. Women naturally crave that. Why not, right? It's a natural thing. Because life is full of ups and downs, and we want to be held through the tough times. I know there's feminists out there that are they're just like they've turned to stone as I've said that. Women want to be held through tough times. Why? Guys don't need to be held, so we don't need to be held. Meantime, inside it's like just shattered glass, like waiting for Prince Charming. And then she says the transfer of wealth. She talks about that, which is, listen, they're talking about women making more money now and where this I don't need a man came from, that now they're out there and they're making money, so they don't need guys. And it's just, this bringing guys down to just a wallet all the time. Well, I don't need a man. I have a great salary. Okay, well then why are you on the internet doing a therapy session, honey? Because something's going on that's like not so happy on the inside. Because you know what? Men bring other things to the table that you do want and you do need. It's not just about their wallet and it's not just about your wallet. It's not just about money. There's something else here that I wrote that I can't read. Sorry. Okay. I want to address something else that's not coming from a clip. Just occurred to me before. Then we're going to wrap this baby up. People ask me all the time about red flags. I'll do a show on red flags. New red flags that I've thought about. I'll do that. But if you walk into, guys, can I just say this? If you walk into a woman's apartment and it's dirty, like so much so that you're like, well, I would not live here, like dirty, also like stuff thrown all over the place, gross, like, like just not tidy, leave. Bye. See you later. Oh, it's been real. Oh, you've only been here for 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes was enough. See you later. Bye. No. No. Telling you that's going to be a headache. Also, if a woman is comfortable rolling into your space and your space is a hot mess, because let's face it, guys often have a hot mess of a space, and she just rolls into the filth and just like lays on her phone, cut the dog loose. I'm just saying, listen, no, No, because you're now with somebody whose natural inclinations as a woman are off. Something's going on there. It's not natural for women to be comfortable in untidy, dirty spaces. I'm just going to say it. So it's just a red flag that occurred to me before as I was doing one of the clips. I don't even remember which one. Just know that. And it's also a sign of other things, like typically women whose space is unkept, their bodies are like stuff just is not groomed, is all I'm going to say, in an unsavory way. There will be other skeletons in the closet as well. Thank y'all for being here today. I'm going to see you soon. Oh, one thing I need you to do. First of all, I need you to go to jedediahbila.com. And first things first, I don't say this enough. Hit the subscribe button, please. Hit the like button. Hello, everyone. You got to hit subscribe. Also, go to jedediahbila.com. Look at my products page and check it out. We just added some new ones. Air purifier, the best air purifier ever. Different stuff. Check it out. And I need you to submit in the contact form questions. We're going to do a Q&A show. I need you to submit your questions. So send them there. We'll be checking them. And when I feel like I have enough that I like, then I'll do the show. And by like, I mean, not stuff that's a little dirty. And I can't, some of you, a little edgy is all I'm going to say. All right. Have a lovely day. See you soon. Bye.